The coffee smelled like burnt sugar and old dreams. Emma Hartley sat at the corner table of Riverside Cafe, watching her 7-year-old daughter Lily trace invisible patterns on the fogged-up window. Outside, Wisconsin's late autumn rain drummed against the glass, turning Miller Street into a watercolor painting of gray and muted gold. This place had become their ritual, their Saturday morning escape from the cramped apartment where the walls still echoed with everything Emma was trying to forget. "Mom, you're doing that thing again," Lily said without looking away from the window. "What thing?" "The staring at nothing thing. Like you're watching a movie nobody else can see." Emma forced a smile and picked up her lukewarm coffee. The cafe was packed as usual, every table occupied by people who seemed to know exactly who they were and what they wanted. She envied that certainty. At 32, Emma felt like she'd just been born, like the previous decade of her life had been someone else's story that she'd been forced to narrate. The divorce had been finalized 6 months ago. 6 months since she'd finally said the words out loud to Robert. "I can't do this anymore. I never could." 6 months since she'd admitted what she'd known since she was 15, but had buried under layers of denial thick enough to suffocate. She wasn't attracted to men. She never had been. And Robert, despite his anger and his hurt, had at least given her that. The freedom to stop pretending. But freedom came with a price. Her parents hadn't spoken to her since. Her sister called her selfish. The neighbors whispered. And every morning when Emma woke up in that small apartment, she wondered if she'd made the right choice. If Lily would hate her someday for breaking up their family, if she'd ever feel anything other than this hollow exhaustion. "I like it here," Lily said, finally turning from the window. "It's loud, but not scary loud. Not like—" She stopped herself. "Not like home used to be," Emma finished softly. Lily nodded, her brown eyes far too knowing for a child. "I'm glad we left, Mom. Even when you cry at night and think I can't hear, I'm still glad." Emma's throat tightened. She reached across the table and squeezed her daughter's hand. "Me too, baby." The cafe door opened with a gust of cold air and the jangle of bells. Emma glanced up instinctively and felt the world tilt sideways. A woman walked in. No, not walked. She moved with deliberate grace despite the crutches supporting her weight, one leg wrapped in a brace from knee to ankle. She wore a leather jacket over a band t-shirt Emma didn't recognize, jeans that fit like they'd been designed specifically for her, and had dark curly hair that fell past her shoulders in wild, beautiful chaos. But it was her smile that stopped Emma's breath, a smile that seemed to light up the entire crowded cafe, bright and unguarded, and so genuinely warm that Emma felt something crack open inside her chest. The woman scanned the packed room, clearly looking for a place to sit. Her eyes swept past Emma's table, then returned, their gazes locked. Emma forgot how to breathe. The woman's smile widened slightly, and she navigated through the crowded cafe with surprising ease, the crutches becoming extensions of her body rather than obstacles. She stopped at Emma's table, and up close, Emma could see she had the most striking eyes, hazel with flecks of gold that caught the dim cafe lighting. "Hey," the woman said, her voice low and warm like honey in tea. "I know this is probably weird, but would you mind if I sat with you guys? This place is insane today, and you're the only table with an empty chair." Emma opened her mouth. Nothing came out. Her brain had apparently short-circuited. She was staring. She knew she was staring, but she couldn't stop. This woman was the most beautiful person Emma had ever seen, and that realization hit her like a physical force. Lily, bless her, kicked Emma under the table. "Oh, yes, no, we don't mind. Please sit." The words tumbled out in a rush, and Emma felt heat flood her face. The woman set her crutches against the wall and lowered herself into the chair with practiced movements. "Thanks. I'm Jordan, by the way. Jordan Mackenzie. Emma Hartley. And this is my daughter, Lily. Nice to meet you both." Jordan's smile included Lily, who was studying her with the unfiltered curiosity of childhood. "Why do you have crutches?" Lily asked bluntly. "Lily?" Emma's mortification doubled, but Jordan laughed, a sound that made Emma's stomach flip. "It's okay. I'd be curious too. I was in a car accident about 8 months ago. Messed up my leg pretty bad. Still healing, but I'm getting there." "Does it hurt?" Lily asked. "Sometimes, but I'm tougher than I look." Jordan winked at her, and Lily grinned. A waitress appeared, and Jordan ordered coffee and something called the Everything Bagel Sandwich, which she described as basically a heart attack on bread, but worth it. The waitress left, and an awkward silence descended. Emma couldn't stop looking at Jordan's hands. They were graceful, expressive, with short nails painted a chipped dark blue. She wore several rings, including one that looked like a tiny silver moon. Emma wondered what those hands would feel like, then immediately felt her face burn hotter. What was wrong with her? She was acting like a teenager with her first crush. Except Emma had never actually had a crush on anyone in high school. Not really. She'd dated boys because that's what girls did. She'd married Robert because she was 23 and pregnant, and that's what you were supposed to do. She'd spent a decade playing a role, reading lines someone else had written, wondering why she felt nothing when he touched her, why sex felt like an obligation she endured rather than desired. But looking at Jordan Mackenzie, Emma felt something she'd never felt before. Want. Pure, undeniable, terrifying want. "So," Jordan said, breaking the silence, "you two are regulars here, right? I've seen you a couple times. You always sit at this table." "You noticed us?" Emma's voice came out higher than intended. "Hard not to." Jordan's gaze held Emma's for a beat too long. "You both look so peaceful together. It's nice. Rare, actually." Lily beamed. "We come here every Saturday. Mom says it's our special time." "That's really cool." Jordan's expression softened. "My mom used to take me to this diner every Sunday morning when I was a kid. Best pancakes in the state. I still think about them sometimes." "Used to?" Lily asked. "She passed away a few years ago." Jordan's smile didn't quite reach her eyes anymore. "Cancer. I'm so sorry," Emma said softly. Jordan shrugged, but Emma could see the grief lurking behind her casual demeanor. "Thanks. It's okay. Well, not okay, but you know. You learn to carry it." They fell into conversation then, the awkwardness melting away like snow in spring rain. Jordan was a graphic designer who worked mostly from home, which she said was both a blessing and a curse. She'd moved to Wisconsin from Colorado 2 years ago for a job opportunity that hadn't worked out, but she'd stayed because she'd grown to love the area. She had a cat named Duchess, who was basically a furry tyrant, and she collected vintage comic books. Emma found herself laughing more than she had in months, maybe years. Jordan had a way of telling stories that made even mundane details hilarious. She talked about the physical therapy sessions from hell, her neighbor who practiced the trumpet at 6 a.m, the existential crisis she'd had in the cereal aisle at Target last week when confronted with too many choices. Lily was entranced, asking questions about Duchess, about Jordan's comic book collection, about whether she liked chocolate or vanilla ice cream better. Jordan answered each question seriously, never talking down to her, treating Lily like a person rather than just a kid. And Emma couldn't look away. The way Jordan's eyes crinkled when she smiled. The way she used her hands when she talked. The way she'd unconsciously reached over to help Lily with her napkin when she'd spilled a little juice. The way she looked at Emma like Emma was the only person in the entire cafe. "You okay?" Jordan asked suddenly, and Emma realized she'd been staring again. "Yeah, sorry. Emma scrambled for an excuse. "I zone out sometimes. Bad habit." "No worries." Jordan's smile was gentle. "I get it. Life's overwhelming sometimes." Their food arrived, and they ate and talked, and the hour stretched into 2. Other customers came and went. The rain kept falling, and Emma felt something unfurl inside her that she hadn't even known was coiled tight. Hope, maybe, or possibility, or just the simple, radical idea that she could be happy. "Mom's been through a lot," Lily said suddenly, and Emma's heart dropped into her stomach. "She used to be sad all the time when we lived with Dad. She cried at night, but she doesn't cry as much anymore." "Lily," Emma started, mortified. But Jordan's expression had shifted to something Emma couldn't quite read. Compassion, maybe. Understanding. "That takes a lot of courage," Jordan said quietly, looking at Emma, "leaving something that's not working, even when it's scary. Especially when you have someone else depending on you." Emma felt tears prick her eyes and blinked them away furiously. "It doesn't feel like courage. Most days it feels like I'm barely holding it together." "That's what courage looks like, though," Jordan said. "It's not some big dramatic moment. It's getting up every day and doing the next thing, even when you're terrified. It's showing up. You're showing up. That counts for everything." Emma had to look away. Her chest felt too full, too tight. No one had said anything like that to her. Not her parents, not her friends, not her therapist. Everyone had opinions about what she'd done, about how she'd handled things, about whether she was selfish or brave or stupid. But no one had simply acknowledged that it was hard, that she was trying, that maybe that was enough. "Thank you," Emma whispered. Jordan reached across the table, and for one heart-stopping moment, Emma thought she was going to take her hand. But Jordan just lightly touched Emma's wrist, a butterfly-like contact that sent electricity racing up Emma's arm. "You're doing great," Jordan said. "Both of you." Lily, who'd been watching this exchange with the intensity of a tiny detective, grinned like she'd just solved a mystery. "I like you," she announced to Jordan. "You should sit with us every week." Jordan laughed. "I'd like that, if your mom's okay with it." Emma's heart was pounding so hard she was sure Jordan could hear it. "Yes, definitely yes. I mean, if you want to. No pressure." "I want to." Jordan's gaze locked with Emma's again, and something passed between them. Something wordless and terrifying and absolutely certain. They exchanged numbers before they left the cafe. Jordan hugged Lily goodbye and gave Emma a smile that made Emma's knees weak. "See you next Saturday?" Jordan asked. "Next Saturday," Emma confirmed. She and Lily walked home through the rain, Lily chattering excitedly about Jordan and Duchess and whether they could get a cat too. Emma barely heard her. She kept replaying every moment of the last 2 hours, every word, every look, every accidental touch. Her phone felt like it was burning a hole in her pocket, Jordan's number saved under a simple Jordan, with a coffee emoji Lily had insisted on adding. That night, after Lily was asleep, Emma lay in bed staring at the ceiling. Her heart was still racing. Her skin felt too tight. She felt alive in a way she'd never experienced before, like someone had switched on all the lights in a house she'd been stumbling through in darkness for years. "This is what it's supposed to feel like," she thought. "This is what I was missing." Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Hey, it's Jordan. Just wanted to make sure you got home okay. The rain was pretty intense." Emma stared at the message for a full minute before responding. "We made it. Thank you for sitting with us today." Jordan's response came quickly. "Thank you for letting me crash your table. Best Saturday I've had in a long time. Lily's amazing, by the way. She liked you too. She doesn't warm up to people that easily. Smart kid. I like that she's protective of you." Emma typed and deleted 3 different responses before settling on. "She's been my anchor through everything. You're lucky to have each other." They texted until past midnight, the conversation flowing as easily as it had in the cafe. Jordan told her about the book she was reading, a science fiction novel about time travelers. Emma confessed she'd been trying to get through the same mystery novel for 3 months and kept forgetting the plot. Jordan said she did that with movies all the time. Emma said her brain felt like Swiss cheese lately. Jordan said grief and major life changes did that, made everything feel surreal and disconnected. "You've been through a lot too," Emma wrote, thinking of the accident, the crutches, Jordan's mother. "Life's weird that way. Throws everything at you at once sometimes. But we keep going. Do you ever wonder if you're making the right choices?" "All the time. But I figure if I'm questioning it, at least I'm thinking about it. That's better than sleepwalking through life." Emma stared at that message for a long time. Sleepwalking through life. That's exactly what she'd been doing. For 10 years, she'd been asleep, going through motions, pretending, performing a version of happiness that had nothing to do with what she actually felt. "I was sleepwalking for a long time," Emma typed. "I think I'm finally waking up. That's terrifying and beautiful at the same time." "Yeah, it really is." They said goodnight eventually, and Emma fell asleep with her phone clutched in her hand, a smile on her face, and for the first time in as long as she could remember, she didn't dream about the past. She dreamed about next Saturday. The week crawled by. Emma went through the motions of her life, her part-time job at the library, picking Lily up from school, making dinners, helping with homework, doing laundry. But everything felt different now, colored by this new feeling thrumming beneath her skin. She and Jordan texted constantly, silly things mostly. Pictures of Duchess attacking a toy mouse. Emma's photo of the sunset from her apartment window. Jokes, observations, the kind of constant low-level connection that Emma had never experienced before. On Tuesday, Jordan sent her a link to a playlist she'd made. "Songs that remind me of rainy days," the message said. Emma listened to it on repeat, wondering if Jordan was thinking of that Saturday in the cafe, wondering if she felt even a fraction of what Emma was feeling. On Thursday, Emma sent Jordan a photo of a book she'd found at the library, a vintage comic book collection Jordan had mentioned wanting to read. "Want to borrow it?" Emma asked. "Are you kidding? Yes, you're the best." Emma's heart soared. On Friday, Lily asked if Jordan would be at the cafe tomorrow. "I hope so," Emma said. She said she'd be there. "You smile different when you talk about her," Lily observed. "I do?" "Yeah, like you're happy but also scared, but the good kind of scared, like before you go on a roller coaster." Emma pulled her daughter into a hug. "You're too smart for your own good, you know that." "I know," Lily said smugly. Saturday morning arrived, and Emma changed her outfit 3 times. She settled on jeans and a soft green sweater that Lily insisted matched her eyes. She put on mascara, which she almost never did anymore, and actually blow-dried her hair instead of letting it air-dry into its usual messy waves. "You look pretty, Mom," Lily said. "Thanks, baby. Jordan's going to think so, too." Emma's face burned. "Lily." "What? It's true." Lily shrugged with the easy confidence of someone who hadn't yet learned to doubt her observations. They arrived at Riverside Cafe 15 minutes early. Emma ordered their usual, and they sat at their corner table, Emma trying not to watch the door like a lovesick teenager. She felt ridiculous. She felt alive. She felt terrified. At exactly 9 o'clock, Jordan walked through the door. She wore a burgundy sweater and black jeans, her hair pulled back in a messy bun with curls escaping everywhere, and when she spotted Emma and Lily, her whole face lit up like sunrise breaking over the horizon. Emma forgot how to breathe again. "Hey," Jordan said, navigating over to their table. "Is this seat still available?" "Always," Emma said, and the word came out softer than she intended, weighted with meaning she wasn't ready to examine too closely. Jordan sat down, and this time when their knees brushed under the table, Emma didn't pull away. Neither did Jordan. They fell into conversation like no time had passed. like they'd been doing this for years instead of just a week. Lily told Jordan all about the spelling test she'd aced, and the girl in her class who'd brought a turtle for show and tell. Jordan talked about the logo design she'd been working on for a local brewery. Emma mostly listened, content to watch the way Jordan's hands moved, the way she included Lily in the conversation, the way she kept glancing at Emma like she couldn't quite believe she was real. "Oh, I brought you something," Emma said suddenly, remembering. She pulled the vintage comic book from her bag. "The one you wanted." Jordan's eyes went wide. "You remembered." She took the book carefully, reverently. "Emma, this is, wow, thank you. It's just a loan. From the library." "It's not just anything." Jordan's gaze was intense, searching Emma's face like she was trying to memorize it. "This is really thoughtful." Emma's cheeks felt hot. "I just figured you'd like it." "I do. I love it." Jordan bit her lip, and Emma's eyes tracked the movement involuntarily. "Actually, I have something for you too. Well, kind of. There's this art fair happening downtown tomorrow. Small local artists, handmade stuff, food trucks. I was planning to go and thought maybe you and Lily might want to come. If you're free?" Emma's heart kicked into overdrive. This was a date. Not explicitly, maybe, but the intent was there in Jordan's slightly nervous expression, in the way she was fiddling with one of her rings. "Mom loves art fairs," Lily announced before Emma could respond. "She never goes anywhere fun, but she always says she wants to." "I don't never go anywhere," Emma started. "When's the last time you did something just for fun?" Lily challenged. Emma opened her mouth to argue, then closed it. Lily had a point. "So is that a yes?" Jordan asked, a hopeful smile tugging at her lips. "Yes," Emma said. "We'd love to go." The smile that spread across Jordan's face could have powered the entire city. "Perfect. I can pick you guys up around noon, unless you want to meet there." "Picking us up is good." Emma gave Jordan her address, trying not to think too hard about what this meant, about the fact that she was actively pursuing something with Jordan, about the fact that she wanted this more than she'd wanted anything in a long time. They stayed at the cafe for another 2 hours, until Lily started getting restless, and Emma realized they'd been hogging the table all morning. Outside, the sun had broken through the clouds, turning everything golden. "See you tomorrow," Jordan said, and this time when she hugged Emma goodbye, Emma let herself sink into it. Jordan smelled like coffee and rain, and something warm and indefinable that made Emma want to bury her face in her neck and never let go. "Tomorrow," Emma echoed. That night, Emma couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about Jordan's smile, Jordan's hands, the way Jordan looked at her like Emma was someone worth knowing. She thought about tomorrow, about spending more time with her, about what might happen. She thought about the fact that she was attracted to a woman, not in the abstract way she'd acknowledged her sexuality to herself and her therapist, but in a concrete, undeniable physical way that made her whole body respond. She thought about what that meant, about whether she was ready for this, about whether Jordan felt the same way. Her phone buzzed. "Jordan. Can't sleep. Too excited about tomorrow. Is that weird?" Emma's heart flipped. "Not weird. I can't sleep either." "Good. I'd hate to be the only one overthinking everything." "What are you overthinking?" "Whether I'm moving too fast. Whether you feel the same way I do. Whether I'm reading everything completely wrong." Emma's fingers trembled as she typed. "How do you feel?" The typing indicator appeared and disappeared several times. Finally, "Like I met someone I don't want to stop getting to know. Like I want to spend as much time with you as you'll let me. Like I haven't felt this way in a really long time. And it's scary, but also the best thing that's happened to me in months." Emma read the message 3 times, her heart pounding so hard she could feel it in her throat. She could play it safe. She could deflect. She could pretend she didn't understand what Jordan was really saying, or she could be brave. I feel the same way, Emma typed. Exactly the same way. Yeah? Yeah. Okay, good. That's really good. Jordan? Yeah? I'm really glad you asked to sit with us that day. Me too, Emma. Me too. Sunday arrived bright and cold, the kind of crisp November day that made everything look sharper, more vivid. Jordan picked them up at noon in a blue Honda, with a wheelchair symbol hanging from the rearview mirror and a bumper sticker that said, "Well-behaved women seldom make history." Nice ride, Emma said, climbing into the passenger seat while Lily buckled herself in the back. It's temperamental but loyal, like a cat. Jordan grinned. Plus, it has great heating, which is crucial in Wisconsin winters. The art fair was set up in the parking lot of an old warehouse that had been converted into studio spaces. White tents lined the makeshift aisles, displaying everything from paintings to pottery to handmade jewelry. A food truck dispensing gourmet grilled cheese sandwiches perfumed the air with butter and melted cheddar. They wandered through the fair slowly, Jordan setting the pace with her crutches. She stopped at a booth selling watercolor prints of Wisconsin landscapes and bought one for her apartment. Lily fell in love with a vendor selling stuffed animals made from recycled materials and begged for a dragon made of old t-shirts. Emma bought it for her, unable to resist her daughter's pleading eyes. You're a soft touch, Jordan observed, amused. I know, it's a problem. It's sweet. They stopped at the grilled cheese truck and got sandwiches loaded with 3 kinds of cheese and tomato. Lily declared hers the best sandwich in the universe. They found a bench in a little courtyard area and sat eating, watching the crowd flow past. This is nice, Emma said. Thank you for inviting us. Thank you for coming. Jordan's shoulder pressed against Emma's. The contact felt deliberate, intentional. Emma's pulse quickened. She glanced at Lily, but her daughter was absorbed in watching a street performer juggling flaming batons. Taking a breath, Emma shifted slightly, closing the gap between her and Jordan until they were pressed together from shoulder to thigh. Jordan went very still. Then, slowly, she smiled. Not her usual bright grin, but something softer, more private. Something meant just for Emma. They sat like that for a while, not talking, just existing in each other's space. Emma felt hyper-aware of every point of contact, every breath, every small movement. Her body was singing with awareness, with want, with the terrifying realization that this was it. This was what she'd been missing her entire life. This feeling of rightness, of home, of finally being herself. Mom, can I go look at the face painting booth? Lily asked, pointing across the courtyard. Emma hesitated. The booth was maybe 30 feet away, clearly visible, but still. I can see you from here, Mom, Lily said, exasperated. I'm not a baby. I know. I just let her go, Jordan said quietly. We can watch from here. She'll be fine. Emma nodded, and Lily scampered off. The moment she was out of earshot, the air between Emma and Jordan changed, became charged with everything they weren't saying. Emma, Jordan said softly. Yeah? I need to tell you something, and I need you to be honest with me about how you feel about it. Emma's stomach dropped. Okay. Jordan turned to face her fully. I like you, not just as a friend. I think you're incredible, and every time I'm around you, I can't stop thinking about you. And I know we just met. And I know you've been through a lot, and I don't want to push or make you uncomfortable. But I also can't keep pretending I don't feel this way. She took a breath. So I need to know if I'm completely misreading this, or if you feel something too. Emma's heart was pounding so hard she thought it might bruise her ribs from the inside. You're not misreading it, she whispered. I feel it too. I just don't know what to do about it. Why not? Because I'm terrified. The words burst out before Emma could stop them. Jordan, I've never done this before. Not really. I was with Robert for 10 years, and before that, I never let myself even think about being with a woman. I don't know how to do any of this. I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'm going to screw everything up. Hey. Jordan reached out and gently took Emma's hand. The touch sent electricity shooting up Emma's arm. You don't have to have it all figured out. Nobody does. We can take this as slow as you need, or we can not do anything at all if that's what you want. But Emma, I need you to know that you're not going to screw this up just by being honest about what you feel. That's not how this works. Emma looked down at their joined hands. Jordan's fingers were warm, solid, real. I don't want to go slow, Emma admitted. That's the problem. I want... She stopped, overwhelmed by the weight of her own desire. What do you want? Jordan's voice was gentle but urgent. Emma looked up and met Jordan's eyes. I want you. And that scares me because I've never wanted anything this much before. Something blazed in Jordan's expression, hot and bright. Emma! But I have Lily to think about, Emma continued quickly. And I'm still figuring out who I am. And my family already thinks I'm making a mistake with my whole life. And you deserve to be happy. Jordan interrupted. You deserve to want things. You deserve to have someone look at you the way I'm looking at you right now and not feel guilty about it. Emma felt tears prick her eyes. I don't know if I believe that yet. Then let me believe it for both of us until you do. They sat there, hands clasped, staring at each other, the rest of the world fading away. Emma could see Lily in her peripheral vision, getting a butterfly painted on her cheek. She could hear the crowd noise, smell the food trucks, feel the cold air on her face. But none of it mattered as much as this moment, this choice. Okay, Emma said. Okay? Okay. Let's do this, whatever this is. I don't know what I'm doing, but I want to try. Jordan's smile could have lit the entire city. That's all I needed to hear. Lily came running back, face painted, grinning from ear to ear. Look, Mom, I'm a butterfly. You're beautiful, baby. Can we get hot chocolate? Lily asked. I'm cold. They found a vendor selling hot chocolate with ridiculous amounts of whipped cream and marshmallows. They walked through the rest of the fair, and now when Jordan's hand brushed Emma's, their fingers tangled together deliberately, carefully, like they were learning a new language together. When Jordan dropped them off at their apartment that evening, Lily ran inside to show her face paint to her stuffed animals, leaving Emma and Jordan alone on the doorstep. Thank you for today, Emma said. It was perfect. We should do it again, soon. I'd like that. They stood there, inches apart, the air between them crackling with tension. Emma's gaze dropped to Jordan's lips without her permission. When she looked back up, Jordan was watching her with an intensity that made Emma's knees weak. Can I kiss you? Jordan asked softly. Emma's breath caught. Yes. Please, yes. Jordan leaned in slowly, giving Emma every chance to change her mind. But Emma didn't want to change her mind. She wanted this more than she'd wanted anything. When their lips met, it was soft at first, tentative, questioning. Then Jordan's hand came up to cup Emma's cheek, and Emma made a sound she'd never made before. Something between a gasp and a whimper, and the kiss deepened. It was nothing like kissing Robert, nothing like any kiss Emma had ever experienced. This was fire and sweetness and rightness all tangled together. This was every question she'd ever had about herself answered in a single moment. This was home. When they pulled apart, both breathless, Jordan rested her forehead against Emma's. Wow, she whispered. Yeah, Emma agreed, her voice shaky. Wow. I should go before I do something like kiss you again and never stop. Emma laughed, dizzy with happiness. That would be terrible. Awful, Jordan agreed, grinning. Talk tomorrow? Definitely. Emma watched Jordan walk back to her car, watched her drive away, then stood on her doorstep for another 5 minutes just feeling. Her lips tingled. Her whole body felt alive. She felt like she'd been living in black and white her entire life, and someone had just switched on the color. Inside, Lily was waiting with a knowing smile. "You kissed her." Emma felt her face flush. "How did you—" "Mom, I'm 7, not stupid. Plus you have that look." "What look?" "The happy, scared look. The roller coaster look." Lily hugged her. "I'm glad you kissed her. She makes you smile for real." Emma held her daughter tight, tears stinging her eyes. "You're okay with this? With me and Jordan? Mom, I just want you to be happy. You were so sad with Dad. I don't want you to be sad anymore." "I love you so much, Lily." "I know. Love you too." That night, Emma and Jordan texted until 3 in the morning. They talked about everything and nothing. Jordan sent her photos of Duchess sleeping in absurd positions. Emma sent her a playlist she'd been working on. They made plans for dinner later that week. Just the two of them. A real date. "I can't stop thinking about kissing you," Jordan texted. Emma's heart raced. "Good. Don't stop. When can I do it again?" "Whenever you want." Dangerous answer. "I always want to." Emma fell asleep smiling, her phone clutched in her hand, and for the first time in her life, she didn't have any doubts about what she was feeling, or who she was, or what she wanted. It was terrifying. It was liberating. It was real. The next few weeks blurred together in a haze of happiness Emma had never experienced before. She and Jordan saw each other constantly. Coffee dates, dinner dates, afternoon walks through parks where the leaves crunched underfoot. Jordan came over for movie nights with Lily, and Emma went to Jordan's apartment to meet Duchess, who immediately claimed Emma's lap as her personal throne. They kissed in parking lots and on Emma's couch after Lily was asleep, and in the kitchen while making dinner. Every kiss felt like discovery, like coming home, like finally understanding a language Emma had been trying to speak her entire life without knowing the words. "I've never felt like this before," Emma admitted one night. They were on her couch, Emma tucked against Jordan's side, some movie playing that neither of them was watching. "Like what?" "Desired. Wanted. Like someone actually wants to touch me, and isn't just going through the motions." Emma's voice cracked. "Robert and we had sex because that's what married people do. But I never wanted it. Not really. I thought that was normal. I thought I just had a low sex drive or something. But it wasn't that at all." Jordan's arms tightened around her. "You were never attracted to him." "No, not even a little bit. I cared about him as a person, at least at first. But I never wanted him the way I want you." Emma looked up, meeting Jordan's eyes. "The way I want you terrifies me. I've never felt like this. I don't know what to do with it." "You don't have to do anything except feel it," Jordan said softly. "And if you want to act on it, we can talk about that too. But there's no pressure, Emma. We move at your pace." "What if my pace is fast? What if I want more than I'm ready for?" Jordan smiled. "Then we'll figure it out together. That's what communication is for." They talked a lot, about boundaries and desires and fears. Jordan was patient, never pushing, always checking in. She told Emma about her own coming out in college, about the girlfriend who'd broken her heart when she was 25, about learning to trust again after betrayal. Emma told her about Robert's anger when she'd asked for the divorce, about the way he'd accused her of wasting his time, of lying to him for their entire marriage. She told Jordan about her parents' rejection, about her mother's tearful accusation that Emma was choosing sin over family. She told her about the nights she lay awake wondering if she was selfish, if Lily would have been better off with parents who stayed together, even if they were miserable. "You're not selfish," Jordan said fiercely. "You're brave. Lily sees that. She knows you're fighting for both of you to have better lives. That's not selfish. That's love." But not everyone saw it that way. Emma's sister Sarah called on a Tuesday evening, 3 weeks into Emma and Jordan's relationship. Emma hadn't spoken to her since the divorce, but she'd been expecting this call eventually. "So I heard you're dating someone," Sarah said without preamble. Emma's stomach clenched. "Who told you? Does it matter? Is it true?" "Yes." "A woman?" Emma's grip tightened on the phone. "Yes." Sarah's laugh was bitter. "Of course. You blow up your entire life, break Robert's heart, confuse poor Lily, and for what? So you can play house with some girl you just met?" "It's not like that." "Then what is it like, Emma? Because from where I'm sitting, you've lost your mind. You have a daughter to think about. Do you have any idea what kids at school are going to say when they find out her mom is gay? Do you care about that at all?" "Lily is fine," Emma said, her voice shaking. "She's happier now than she was when Robert and I were together. She's 7. She doesn't know what's good for her. And I do. For the first time in my life, I do." Emma felt tears burning her eyes. "I know you don't understand, Sarah. I know you think I'm making a mistake. But I spent 10 years being miserable, trying to be someone I'm not. I'm not doing that anymore." "So you're just going to throw away everything? Your marriage, your family, your values?" "My values?" Emma's voice rose. "What values, Sarah? Being honest? Choosing happiness? Not lying to myself and everyone around me anymore?" "Mom and Dad are devastated. They won't even talk to me." "Can you blame them? You're living in sin, Emma. You're setting a terrible example for Lily. I'm showing her that it's okay to be yourself, that it's okay to want to be happy. You're showing her that commitments don't matter, that you can just quit when things get hard. I didn't quit when things got hard." Emma was crying now, angry tears streaming down her face. "I stayed for 10 years when I was dying inside. I stayed until I couldn't breathe anymore. Don't you dare tell me I didn't try." There was silence on the other end of the line. Then Sarah said quietly, "I can't support this, Emma. I'm sorry, but I can't." The line went dead. Emma sat on the couch, phone clutched in her hand, sobbing. She heard Lily's door open, felt her daughter climb into her lap. "Was that Aunt Sarah?" Lily asked. Emma nodded, unable to speak. "She was mean to you." "She's just worried." "No, she was mean. She doesn't understand." Lily hugged Emma tight. "But Jordan does, and I do. We're your family now." Emma held her daughter and cried, grieving for the family she'd lost, the acceptance she'd never have. But mixed with the grief was something else. Relief, maybe, or freedom. She'd said the truth out loud. She'd stood up for herself. She'd chosen her own happiness over their approval. It hurt, but it was also the right choice. She texted Jordan, "Bad day. Family stuff. Can you talk?" Jordan called immediately. "What happened?" Emma explained through tears. Jordan listened, didn't interrupt, didn't try to fix it. When Emma finally ran out of words, Jordan said, "I'm coming over." "You don't have to. I want to. Let me be there for you." Jordan showed up 20 minutes later with ice cream and a DVD of a comedy special. They curled up on the couch together, Lily between them, and watched Stand Up until Emma's tears dried and her chest didn't feel quite so tight. "Thank you," Emma whispered later, after Lily had fallen asleep. "You don't have to thank me. This is what people do when they care about each other. I'm not used to someone caring about me like this." Jordan pressed a kiss to Emma's temple. "Get used to it. I'm not going anywhere." But 2 days later, everything changed. Emma was at work when she got the call. The caller ID showed Robert's number, and her stomach immediately knotted. They barely spoke anymore except about Lily's schedule. "Emma." His voice was cold. "We need to talk." "What's wrong? Is Lily okay?" "Lily's fine. but I just found out you're dating someone, a woman. Emma's blood turned to ice. How did you? Lily told me. She won't shut up about your new friend, Jordan. Robert, I want custody. The world tilted. What? Full custody. I'm filing for a modification. This relationship you're in, it's not appropriate for Lily to be exposed to. I won't have my daughter growing up thinking this lifestyle is acceptable. Emma couldn't breathe. You can't do that. I can, and I am. My lawyer says I have a case. You're introducing Lily to someone you barely know, someone who clearly has her own issues if she needs crutches. You're exposing Lily to an unstable environment. Jordan's injury has nothing to do with... It's evidence of instability, combined with your mental health history, your recent upheaval, the fact that you're working part-time and can barely afford your apartment. Emma, a judge is going to see that I can provide a better home. My mental health history? Emma's voice shook. I went to therapy after the divorce. That's not a mental health history. You've been depressed for years. You've been crying all the time, according to Lily. That's not a fit mother. I was crying because I was miserable with you. Emma was shouting now, trembling with rage and fear. I'm better now. Lily is better now. We'll let the court decide that. Expect papers next week. He hung up. Emma stood in the library break room, phone in hand, entire body shaking. She couldn't lose Lily. She couldn't. Lily was everything. Lily was her reason for breathing, for fighting, for getting out of bed every morning. She called Jordan with trembling hands. Hey, I was just thinking about... Emma? What's wrong? Emma could barely get the words out through her panic. Robert's suing for custody. He says I'm unfit because I'm with you, because I've been depressed, because I work part-time. Jordan, I can't lose her. I can't lose my daughter. You're not going to lose her. Jordan's voice was firm, steady. Emma, listen to me. You're not going to lose her. We're going to fight this. How? He's right about everything. I am barely scraping by. I have been depressed. I am exposing Lily to a relationship he doesn't approve of. None of those things make you a bad mother. You're an amazing mother. Lily is happy and healthy and thriving. Any judge will see that. You don't know that. Emma was crying now, full-on sobbing in the library break room. What if they don't? What if they think he's right? What if I lose her because I finally decided to be myself? Emma, breathe. Where are you? Work. Can you leave? Yes, I can leave. Then leave. Come to my place. Let me be with you. You're not going through this alone. Emma drove to Jordan's apartment in a daze. Jordan was waiting outside, and the moment Emma got out of the car, she collapsed into Jordan's arms. I can't do this, Emma sobbed. I can't lose her. You won't. Jordan held her tight. I promise you, Emma, you won't lose her. We'll get you a lawyer. We'll fight this. He's just angry and trying to hurt you. The courts aren't going to take a child away from a loving mother just because you're gay. What if they do? They won't. Trust me. But Emma couldn't trust anything right now. Her whole world was crumbling. She'd finally found happiness, finally found herself, and now it was all being used against her. Inside Jordan's apartment, Emma curled up on the couch, shaking. Jordan brought her water, a blanket, Duchess, who immediately started purring on Emma's lap. Talk to me, Jordan said softly. Tell me what you're thinking. I'm thinking I should never have done this. I should have stayed alone. I should have waited until Lily was grown up. I should have... Don't. Jordan's voice was sharp. Don't do that to yourself. You're allowed to be happy, Emma. You're allowed to have a life. You deserve love. Not if it costs me my daughter. It won't cost you your daughter. Robert is bluffing. He's trying to scare you. But Emma, you've been a good mother. Better than good. Lily adores you. She's thriving. Any evaluator will see that. Unless they're homophobic? Unless they think gay parents are inherently unfit? Unless... Stop. Jordan took Emma's hands. I know you're scared. I know this is the worst possible thing that could happen. But we can't catastrophize. We have to take this one step at a time. First step, get you a good family law attorney, someone who knows how to handle custody cases like this. I can't afford a good attorney. Then we'll find resources, legal aid, pro bono services. Emma, there are people who fight these battles. We'll find them. Emma wanted to believe her. She wanted to trust that everything would be okay. But she was so tired of fighting. So tired of having to justify her existence, her choices, her right to be happy. Maybe I should break up with you, Emma whispered. Maybe if I'm single, he'll back off. Jordan flinched like she'd been slapped. Is that what you want? No, but I want my daughter more. Emma, if you break up with me to appease Robert, he'll just find another reason to come after you. Maybe he'll say you're unstable for being single. Maybe he'll say you work too much. Maybe he'll say your apartment is too small. This isn't about your relationship with me. This is about him wanting control. And if you give it to him now, he'll never stop. You don't know that. I do, actually, because I've seen this before. My best friend went through a custody battle with her ex. He used every excuse in the book to try to take her kids. She stood her ground, fought back, and she won. Because she was the better parent, and the court saw that. Emma wanted to believe that. She wanted to so badly. What if I'm not strong enough? Emma whispered. Then I'll be strong enough for both of us until you are. Jordan pulled Emma into her arms. I'm not going anywhere, Emma, unless you tell me you don't want me here. But I'm not leaving just because things got hard. That's not how this works. Emma clung to her, crying into Jordan's shoulder. I'm so scared. I know. Me too. You're scared? Of course I am. I'm scared of losing you. I'm scared of you blaming me for this. I'm scared that I'm the reason your life is falling apart. Emma pulled back, looking at Jordan's face. You're not the reason. You're the best thing that's happened to me. Then let me help you fight for it. For us. For Lily. For the life you deserve. Emma nodded, exhausted but determined. Okay. We fight. The next 2 weeks were a nightmare. Emma hired a lawyer recommended by the woman at the legal aid clinic, a tough family law attorney named Patricia Chen, who took one look at Robert's filing and said, "This is bullshit. We'll beat this." Patricia was confident, experienced, and expensive. Emma maxed out her credit card for the retainer. It was worth it. They prepared for the custody evaluation. Emma documented everything. Lily's school records showing excellent grades and attendance. Medical records showing all her vaccinations and checkups were current. Testimonials from Lily's teacher praising Emma's involvement. Patricia coached her on what to say, what not to say, how to present herself. They're going to ask about your relationship with Jordan, Patricia warned. You need to be honest but measured. Yes, you're dating someone. No, it hasn't negatively impacted Lily. In fact, Lily likes Jordan and has responded well to her presence in your life. What if they ask why I got divorced? Tell the truth. You realized you were gay. You didn't want to continue lying to your husband or yourself. You wanted Lily to grow up seeing an authentic parent, not one living a lie. Frame it as honesty and growth. What if they're homophobic? Then we appeal. But Emma, Wisconsin law doesn't allow judges to discriminate based on sexual orientation. We have case precedent on our side. You're going to be fine. Emma wanted to believe her. The custody evaluation took place on a gray Monday morning. Emma sat in a sterile office, answering question after question about her parenting, her relationship with Lily, her relationship with Jordan, her work, her finances, her mental health. The evaluator was a middle-aged woman with a neutral expression and a clipboard full of forms. "How long have you been seeing Jordan Mackenzie?" the evaluator asked. "About 6 weeks." "And how often does she interact with your daughter?" "She comes over for dinner maybe twice a week. We've gone on a few outings together, the art fair, a movie, things like that." "Does she stay overnight?" Emma hesitated. "No, not when Lily's home. But she has stayed when Lily wasn't home." "Once. Lily was at a friend's house for a sleepover." The evaluator made a note. "How does Lily feel about your relationship with Ms. Mackenzie?" "She likes Jordan. They get along really well." "Has Lily expressed any confusion or distress about you dating a woman?" "No. Lily's been very supportive. She wants me to be happy." "She's 7 years old. Do you think she's emotionally mature enough to process her mother's sexuality and new relationship?" Emma felt heat rise in her face. "Lily knows I care about Jordan. She doesn't need to process my sexuality in any deep way. She just knows that Mom has a friend who makes her happy, and that's enough for her right now." More questions, more note-taking. By the end of the hour, Emma felt wrung out and raw. Jordan was waiting in the parking lot when Emma emerged. She'd driven Emma to the evaluation, insisted on being there, even though she couldn't go in with her. "How did it go?" Jordan asked. "I don't know. I think okay." She was hard to read. Emma slumped into the passenger seat. "God, I hate this. I hate being evaluated like I'm some kind of specimen." "I know." Jordan squeezed her hand. "But you did great. You're an amazing mom. Anyone can see that." They drove back to Emma's apartment in silence. Inside, Lily was with her babysitter, doing homework at the kitchen table. "Mom!" She jumped up and hugged Emma. "How was your meeting?" "It was fine, baby." "Is Dad still being mean?" Emma's heart ached. "We're working it out." Lily scowled. "I told him I don't want to live with him. I want to stay with you." "You told him that?" "Yeah, when he was asking me questions about Jordan and you. I told him you're happier now and I'm happier and I don't want to leave." Emma pulled her daughter into a tight hug, tears streaming down her face. "I love you so much." "Love you too, Mom. Don't worry. I'll tell the judge person the same thing if they ask me." Emma hoped it wouldn't come to that. She hoped this would all be resolved before Lily had to testify. But she was grateful, so grateful, for her daughter's unwavering support. That night, after Lily was asleep, Emma and Jordan lay tangled together on the couch. "What if we lose?" Emma whispered. "We won't." "But if we do..." "Emma, stop. We're not going to lose. You're torturing yourself with hypotheticals." "I can't help it. This is my daughter we're talking about. I can't just not worry." Jordan pressed a kiss to Emma's forehead. "I know. But you need to take care of yourself too. You're barely eating, you're not sleeping, you're going to make yourself sick." "I can't eat. I can't sleep. Every time I close my eyes, I see Lily's face when they tell her she has to go live with Robert. That's not going to happen." "You keep saying that, but you don't know. I know that you're the best mother Lily could possibly have. I know that you left an unhappy marriage to give both of you better lives. I know that Lily is thriving with you. I know that Robert is doing this out of spite, not genuine concern for Lily's well-being. And I know that the court is going to see all of that." Emma wanted to believe her. She was trying so hard to believe her. "What if they make me choose?" Emma asked suddenly. "Between you and custody?" Jordan went very still. "Would you choose me?" "I would choose Lily, every time. I'm sorry, but I would. Don't apologize for that." Jordan's voice was thick with emotion. "Of course you'd choose Lily. She's your daughter. Emma, if it comes down to that, if somehow this all hinges on whether or not you're in a relationship with me, then we'll deal with it. We'll figure it out. But I don't think it will come to that. But if it does, then I'll let you go. Because I love you, and I love Lily, and I want both of you to be okay. Even if that means I'm not part of your lives. Emma looked up at Jordan's face, saw the tears glittering in her eyes, and felt something break open in her chest. You love me? Jordan laughed shakily. Yeah, I do. I know it's fast, and I know the timing is terrible. But yes, I love you, Emma Hartley. I love your strength and your kindness and the way you love your daughter. I love the way you laugh and the way you think and the way you kiss me like I'm air and you've been drowning. I love you, and I'm not sorry for it, even if it's complicated. Emma couldn't speak past the lump in her throat. She pulled Jordan down and kissed her, pouring everything she couldn't say into the contact. When they broke apart, both breathless, Emma whispered, I love you too. I didn't want to say it because I was afraid it would make everything harder. But I do. I love you. They held each other in the darkness, and despite everything hanging over them, Emma felt a spark of hope. Maybe Patricia was right. Maybe they could beat this. Maybe, just maybe, Emma could have both, her daughter and the love of her life. The evaluator's report came back 2 weeks later. Patricia called Emma as soon as she received it. It's good news, Patricia said, and Emma's knees nearly buckled with relief. The evaluator found no evidence that Lily is being harmed by your relationship with Jordan. In fact, she noted that Lily seems well-adjusted, happy, and secure. She recommended maintaining the current custody arrangement. Emma sat down hard on her couch. Really? Really? The evaluator specifically noted that while your relationship with Ms. Mackenzie is relatively new, it appears healthy and stable, and Lily has responded positively to her presence. There's nothing here that supports Robert's claims of unfitness. So what happens now? Now we go to court. Robert can still push for a hearing. But Emma, his case is weak. This report basically dismantles his entire argument. My guess? He'll back off once he sees it. And if he doesn't? Then we go to trial, and we win. But I really don't think it'll come to that. Patricia was right. Robert's lawyer contacted them 3 days later requesting mediation. In the conference room of a downtown office building, Emma sat across from her ex-husband for the first time since the divorce. He looked older, harder. His jaw was tight, his eyes cold. But Emma wasn't afraid anymore. She had Patricia beside her, and she had the evaluator's report, and she had the truth on her side. My client is willing to maintain the current custody arrangement, Robert's lawyer said, provided certain conditions are met. What conditions? Patricia asked sharply. That Emma not introduce Lily to any romantic partners unless the relationship has lasted at least 6 months. That sleepovers with romantic partners don't occur when Lily is present, and that Robert has right of first refusal for childcare before Emma leaves Lily with... He glanced at his notes. Ms. Mackenzie. Emma felt Jordan's name on this stranger's lips like a slap. But before she could respond, Patricia said, Absolutely not. Those conditions are unreasonable and discriminatory. Emma's parenting choices are not subject to your ex-husband's approval. If your client wants to maintain the current arrangement, he can do so without adding punitive restrictions that he wouldn't demand of himself. Robert leaned forward. I have a right to know who's around my daughter. You have a right to reasonable information about your daughter's caregivers, Patricia countered, which Emma has provided. Ms. Mackenzie is a responsible adult with no criminal record and a positive relationship with Lily. Beyond that, it's none of your business. They argued for another hour. Emma sat silently, letting Patricia handle it, watching Robert's face. She could see his frustration, his anger that he couldn't control this, couldn't control her anymore. Finally, his lawyer said, Fine, we'll maintain the current arrangement without additional conditions. But if anything changes with Lily's well-being, then we'll address it through proper legal channels, Patricia finished, not through intimidation tactics. They signed the paperwork, Emma walked out of that building feeling lighter than she had in weeks. It was over. She'd won. Lily was safe. Jordan was waiting outside, pacing on the sidewalk. When she saw Emma, she stopped. "Well?" He backed down. "We keep the current custody arrangement. No changes." Jordan's face crumpled with relief, and then she was hugging Emma, lifting her off the ground despite the crutches. "Thank God. Thank God." Emma laughed, crying, holding on tight. "We did it. You did it. You fought for your daughter, and you won." "We won." Emma pulled back to look at Jordan's face. "I couldn't have done this without you." "You could have. But I'm glad I got to be here for it." They stood there on the sidewalk, holding each other, and Emma felt like she could finally breathe again. The weight that had been crushing her chest for weeks lifted. Lily was safe. Their life together was secure. And Jordan was still here, still standing beside her despite everything. "I love you," Emma said. "I love you too." That night, Emma told Lily the news. Her daughter whooped with joy and did a victory dance around the living room. Then she insisted they call Jordan immediately to celebrate. "Pizza party," Lily declared, "with Jordan and Duchess." So they ordered pizza, and Jordan came over, and they had an impromptu dance party in Emma's small living room. Lily taught Jordan the dance moves from some video she'd seen, and Jordan gamely tried to follow along despite her leg brace. Emma watched them, laughing, her heart so full it hurt. This was her family, not the one she'd been born into, or the one she'd tried to create with Robert. This one, this small, imperfect, beautiful collection of people who loved each other fiercely. Later, after Lily had fallen asleep and Jordan was getting ready to leave, Emma pulled her close. "Stay," Emma whispered. "I know Lily's here, but stay anyway. I need you tonight." Jordan searched her face. "Are you sure?" "I'm sure. I'm done being afraid of this. I'm done hiding. I want you here." They curled up together in Emma's bed, fully clothed, just holding each other. Emma felt safe for the first time in weeks, maybe years. She felt like herself, like she'd finally come home. "Thank you," Emma whispered into the darkness. "For what?" "For not leaving. For fighting with me. For believing we'd win when I couldn't. Always, Emma. Always." The months that followed were the happiest of Emma's life. She and Jordan moved in together that spring, finding a small house with a backyard where Lily could play and a room that Jordan converted into an office for her design work. Duchess and Lily became inseparable. Emma's job at the library became full-time. Jordan landed a major client that stabilized her income. Emma's family never came around. Her parents still wouldn't speak to her. Sarah sent a Christmas card, but nothing more. It hurt, but Emma was learning that some wounds don't heal, and that was okay. She was building her own family, her own life, her own happiness. Robert remained civil but distant. Lily spent weekends with him, and Emma no longer feared those handoffs. The custody battle had established clear boundaries, and Robert seemed to respect them now, maybe because he'd realized he couldn't win, maybe because he'd genuinely let go. Either way, Emma was grateful. On their 1-year anniversary, Jordan took Emma back to Riverside Cafe. They sat at the same corner table where they'd met, and Jordan ordered the everything bagel sandwich, and Emma got her usual coffee, and it felt like coming full circle. "A year ago, I asked if I could sit with you," Jordan said, holding Emma's hand across the table. "Best question anyone's ever asked me. I was terrified, you know. You were so beautiful, and you looked so sad, and I just wanted to know you. I didn't expect to fall in love. Neither did I." Emma smiled. "I didn't expect any of this. A year ago, I was barely surviving. I was so lost. And then you sat down, and everything changed. Do you regret it? Any of it?" "Not for a second. Even the hard parts. Even the custody battle. All of it brought me here, to this life, to you. I wouldn't change any of it. Jordan pulled a small box from her pocket. Emma's breath caught. I know it's fast, Jordan said. And I know we've only been together a year. But Emma, I want to spend my life with you. I want to wake up next to you every morning and fall asleep holding you every night. I want to be Lily's second mom, if she'll have me. I want everything with you. So, Jordan opened the box, revealing a simple silver band with a small diamond. Will you marry me? Emma was crying, laughing, nodding. Yes, God, yes, of course, yes. Jordan slipped the ring on Emma's finger, and they kissed across the table, and Emma felt like her heart might burst from happiness. This life, this love, this person, it was everything she'd never known she could have. I love you, Emma whispered against Jordan's lips. I love you too. Always. They told Lily that night. She screamed with excitement and insisted on planning the entire wedding immediately. Emma and Jordan let her, laughing at her elaborate plans that involved multiple costume changes and a dessert table bigger than the cake. 6 months later, they got married in a small ceremony in their backyard. Lily was the flower girl, and the ring bearer, and the self-appointed wedding coordinator. Patricia came, and Jordan's friends, and the librarians Emma worked with. Emma's family didn't come, but she'd made peace with that. She was surrounded by people who loved her, who chose her, who showed up for her. When Emma and Jordan exchanged vows, Emma looked into the eyes of the woman who'd asked to sit with her a year and a half ago, and changed her entire life. She thought about that first kiss, that first moment of finally understanding who she was, that first taste of real happiness. I was lost, Emma said, her voice shaking with emotion. I was drowning. And then you asked if you could sit with us, and everything changed. You taught me what love feels like, what desire feels like, what it means to be truly seen and truly wanted. You stood by me through the worst time of my life, and you're here now, on the best day of my life. I promise to love you fiercely, to choose you every day, to build this beautiful life with you. Thank you for seeing me. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for making me believe I deserved this. Jordan was crying openly, squeezing Emma's hands. I fell in love with you the moment I saw you in that cafe. I didn't know it then, but looking back, I think I did. You were everything I'd been looking for without knowing I was searching. You're brave and strong and kind, and watching you fight for your daughter, for yourself, for us. Emma, it's been the honor of my life. I promise to be your safe place, your home, your partner in everything. I promise to love Lily like she's my own. I promise to wake up every day grateful that you said yes to me sitting at your table. I love you, Emma Hartley. Soon to be Emma Hartley Mackenzie. I love you with everything I am. They kissed as wives, and Lily cheered, and Emma felt like she was exactly where she was meant to be. Years later, when Lily was a teenager, and asking about love and relationships, and how you know when you found the right person, Emma would tell her about that Saturday morning in Riverside Cafe, about how sometimes the most important moments in your life start with the simplest questions, about how love can find you when you least expect it, when you're just trying to survive, when you think you've given up on happiness. The most important thing, Emma would say, is being brave enough to say yes when love asks if it can sit with you, even when you're scared, even when it's complicated, even when you have no idea what you're doing. You say yes, and you figure out the rest together. Lily would smile, that same knowing smile she'd had at 7 years old, like you and Mom did, exactly like we did. And Emma would think about Jordan, probably in her office working on a design, or in the kitchen making dinner, or curled up on the couch reading with Duchess on her lap. She'd think about this life they'd built, this family they'd created, this love that had saved her. She'd think about how a simple question, "Can I sit with you?" had changed everything. And she'd be grateful, every single day, that she'd been brave enough to say yes. Have you experienced a moment where saying yes changed everything? A connection that felt like destiny? Share your story in the comments below. And if this story moved you, subscribe to never miss another tale of love that defies expectations. Let's celebrate the courage it takes to choose happiness.